Hello everyone and welcome to my review of the perfect grade 160 scale Gundam Wing Zero Custom from Endless Waltz. This is my favorite Gundam in more ways than one. This is my favorite mobile suit. This is probably my favorite Gunpla at this point. I absolutely love this thing. This model kit was provided to me by Baiyi, an awesome Japanese proxy service that purchases something from Japan on your behalf and ships it to your place. Has really low service fees, really reasonable shipping with Japanese stuff. Now granted, this thing's really big and it costs a lot to ship, and I also had it shipped within like a few days. So that's going to be expensive, but oftentimes prices are cheaper. You have opportunities to get things that are only really available in Japan. Check them out in the description below and you will save 1,000 yen, about $10, on your first purchase. Anyways, onto the Gundam. This thing is large and in charge. I've seen a lot of videos on it and I don't feel like any of the videos do justice to the size of this thing. So I just want to do some size comparisons at first. So down there is the real grade Wing Zero Custom, and raising it up so you can actually see it over there. You can see compared to a 1144, this guy is really big. I probably should have gotten rid of the wings, but I like him on the shelf like that. So yeah, there he is next to 1144, and here it is next to the Master Grade, aka really cool kit, but he can't hold his Buster rifle, so it's really, really awful. But yeah, you can see even compared to the Master Grade. Perfect Grade is huge, and I love it. It's definitely my favorite one out of all of them. But there's a lot of other reasons why I really like it other than the fact that it's really big. So first up, I want to show off real quick. You get the construction manual, all in black and white. And within this manual, you can see there's a lot of screws. There's screws, there's bolts, there's a lot of metal pieces. All of those are metal. And I'll talk about the things that are metal on this model. And very notably, we go further, get a glimpse here. It has wiring and electronics. So wiring, they have you cut the wires, get rid of the coating on the wire and connect it. And it kind of intimidated me at first because I really didn't have much experience with wiring. But just to show you, after a little trial and tribulation, if we get back there, I'll show you where the switch is. But, which way's on? There we go. He's lighting up. So I obviously got it to work. And if I got it to work without any real wiring experience, you will be just fine. It's really bright if it's not under 4 freaking bright lights. Believe me, it's pretty bright. But currently he's under bright lights. So yeah, you have wiring involved. That is not the easiest thing. I would say one thing in these instructions, it makes it look like there's... I'm trying to think where it really does that. Right here, it makes it look like there's multiple wires you have to worry about. It's like, wait, where are these ones coming from? Where are these? There are 5 wires. There's the positive and negative wire for the head, positive and negative wire for the chest, and there's this little tiny wire that you connect from that part of the switch to that right there. You can see these are all the wires right there. There's not like multiple wires, because like especially right there it looks like, wait, there's wires there and wires there. No, it's just kind of like a weird line. Don't think you have to string multiple wires at once. Don't worry about that. That's not really confusing to me. So yeah, you get the construction manual, and you get to the instruction manual, which is actually colored. And I was thinking, what's the difference? Well, the instruction manual initially gives you the color guide, shows you a bit of you can see right here, I'm not going to take the armor off on this guy in this video, I'm so sorry if you wanted to see that, but I'm not going to do that. You can see the frame, which is a really sturdy frame. If you were thinking that, oh, this is an old kid, I don't know if the frame's going to be sturdy. This guy's sturdy. Don't worry about that. And then all the rest is in Japanese. So, I mean, you can see a lot of nice little cross sections there. Looks real cool. This guy does not have the opening panel features that some perfect grades have, but it's still a very awesome model kit. You can see just some design work there. The people who worked on the kit. Look at that, it's all in Japanese. And a little flap right there that just shows you more pictures. So that's nice. There's the instruction manual. You can see nice little, very angelic picture of him. So yeah, there's the manuals right there. 5 minutes in, I haven't really talked about the guy yet. Oh well, it's going to be a long video because there's a lot to talk about. So before we even talk about our boy, let's talk about the accessories. So in this baggie, I have all of the little spare parts. Little poly cap. There's a part of the gray wire you don't use. Another little poly cap. Another little poly cap. You get spares for all the little screws and bolts. Well, not all of them, but most of them. So you have spares in there, other poly cap. And that little blue piece right there is the screw cover for the backpack. It's not on the backpack because it doesn't want to stay on the backpack. So you'll see that. So you get all those extra accessories. You have two, count them, two very, very, very large beam saber blades. And then you have the beam saber hilts, where they always are on a wing Gundam, back here. You just slide that out. And then these right here. My thumbnail's growing back, so I can actually do this. You can flip that out. Then I think this one flips out the other way. I wish there was a little nub they had on it, but you see right there. You have two different pegs right there, so you have some options on where you want it held in the hand, and I'll show off those hands in a minute. But the weapons do plug in, which is nice. Then that goes in nice and sturdy, and the peg's really long too, so you don't have to worry about it just snapping off. So yeah, that's a really nice accessory there. I love that. So you get two of those. Then of course you get his Buster rifles. Why wouldn't you? These are pretty basic, honestly. It's largely just two pieces sandwiched together. Of course you have the handles, which you just kind of flip down, if they'll flip down. I guess that one's not flipping down. But you can see right there, flip out for the peg, so you can hold on to it. They connect in the back right there. Then you have the kind of standard flippy-outy things for the Buster rifles. Let's just get that detached. But yeah, there's a huge seam line running down the bottom of both of these. So yeah, that's how they attach right there. Then you do have Zero right there for like the Zero system, which is cool. There's no decals on this guy. There's no stickers. There's no, water slide stickers. I already said stickers. There's none of that. There's no markings whatsoever. So if you want that, you'll have to go another way. Yeah, you get those, and he holds them pretty decently. We're going to talk about that. But that's pretty much it with accessories. So it doesn't come with much. But then again, what's the Wing Zero going to come with? So this is our boy. I'm trying to think about where to talk first. So let's talk about how he looks. I love the aesthetic. I absolutely love the look of him. Zooming in here, looking at that head. This head is magnificent. Look at that. Oh, I love that head. Oddly enough, there's nothing behind the vent right there. That's seriously, you're looking into black. You're not looking into a black part or anything like that. That is actual just hollow blackness you're looking into. So yeah, the head looks really nice. I really like the look of that. The chest right there. I mean, look at that. It has a nice shiny piece on the inside so you can see well. And then I got to talk about one other little accessory. Kind of a feature of the model. You can open the cockpit like any good Wing Zero. Then on the inside, I don't even know if you'll be able to see him. There is a little Hero Yui. And I painted him. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to see if you can even see him in there. There we go, little Hero Yui. Shirt green, flesh brown, he even has blue jeans. So yeah, you have a little Hero Yui in there. He's kind of hard to spot, but he is in there, and I appreciate that little detail. What else to talk about? The overall aesthetic's really nice. I think the shoulder pads look really great. They're kind of connected with, kind of like how real grades are. Honestly, this thing felt like a giant real grade to build. That's what it felt like, and I don't really mind that at all. It's actually really great. Sturdy. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. It's really sturdy. It's really heavy too. I'm trying to kind of talk about it from the perspective of someone who's never owned a perfect grade before. But to some of you, you may be like, yeah, that's what a perfect grade is, duh. But this guy's 20 years old. He's pretty great for being 20 years old. What else he's got going on? He's got the nice arms there. He has the metallic pistons you can see. You can just bend the arm. Really nice articulation on that. But you can see green piece right there. And these hands, definitely very... Oh my gosh, why do people gotta be Speed Racer over here? Anyways, the fingers, I should say, are really real grade like, because they're all kind of molded on one piece, and then you just have to cut out each finger and then put it on here. So yeah, you don't have to assemble the individual digits, you just have to kind of cut them out and then put them on. So I appreciate that. Kind of odd though, how his palm is gray, but everything else is white. I don't know, I think all of it probably should have been white. Oh, what else? What else? He has the nice real grade slidey gimmick on his knee. You can see it's already kind of going there. Yeah, look, you see that? You can see the pistons. There's a lot of pistons on this guy. You can see, look at that, man. This thing's really impressive. I'm sorry, it's just really great. So look-wise, you can pretty much see what you're looking at. The wings are very simplistic. Let's just talk about everything to talk about with the wings first. So this is all pretty much one giant piece with another piece on the back to hold all of these little feathers. And these feathers, I feel like, are very controversial because they are rubbery and they are bendy. You see all those holes in there? That's to facilitate the bend. So you can have the wings, or the little feathers flex on the wings. They all pivot individually. You have to screw them all in. So that's kind of a controversial detail. But you know what? I'm kind of okay with it. They smell funny too, oddly enough. And then these wings on the back, they have this really, really intricate spring feature. A lot of other wing Gundams, you just have to pull it out and put it back in. But no, they insisted on having an automatic spring mechanism where you lift it up, and if you're not squeezing down on it, there we go, it folds out. So here, let's do that again. So, boom, look at that. It kind of, and then you can put it back down extended too. But look at that. That's neat. That gimmick has seized up a couple times, and it wasn't very easy to assemble. So be careful when doing that, because you have to worry about all the little things. Right there, you can see the screw cover, because you screw on the backpack, because the backpack is where the batteries are. And also, while we're in the back, there's the on-off switch. It's currently in the off position, obviously. So it's a little difficult to get to. Very good that I have my thumbnails, so I can actually flick that a little easier. I did do a little bit of paint aligning, but I might go back and do some gray paint to some of the other thinner panel lines. I'm not sure just yet. So that's pretty much it with the looks on this guy. Let's talk about the articulation, because he's got a lot going on. So his head is on a swivel up top, a hinge, and a ball joint at the base. So you have a lot of range on the head. You also do have the opening. Of course you got the opening machine guns on the chest. What are you talking about? Come on. They don't really give you too easy of a way to get them up. There you go. Get those open. That's nice. So you have that. And then the shoulder pads are on their own swivel. Then their own ball joint at the base. So they can move around quite a bit. They've actually got a couple ball joints going on. And each one of those little pieces are on their own ball joint. And then the shoulders. Of course, you have a universal hinge at the main shoulder that actually goes up really far. But then inside, you have this really advanced piston system. You can see one of the shiny pistons right there. We can actually get the arm forward really far. You can just get the shoulder really far forward so you can get nice Buster Rifle poses. You have to put in the pins for all that. You have to put in the pins. Yes, there's pins. Not screws, pins. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. It gives you pretty decent range for what you get. You have swivels at the wrist. You actually have up and down and in and out at the wrist. You've already seen all the finger articulation, so you get a lot of range at the hand there. Pretty much anything you could ever do with a real normal hand, you can do with this. That's really nice. Then you can see the holes. You have holes down there and holes up there. So you actually have a couple options. The waist is kind of interesting because you have this red right here is actually a rubbery piece, and you have like this dumbbell joint on the inside. You can see how it's kind of flexing. So you have a joint on the inside. You don't really get a lot of range. You really don't. But you can see right there. And then I don't really think you can do much at the base of the waist. Not really. It's not really wanting to go. The hips, or the hip skirts I should say, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint. Then the back skirt's on this big old hinge. And that leaves us with the hips, which are very interesting. So, getting that piece back in. You have this big old barbell on the inside. It's on a ball joint on the inside, and then each hip is on a ball joint. So you have that. They can move the hips forward and back. Then you have the legs. They can move that far out. Then they can move that far forward. And that far back. Then you have these little doors right here that actually have a little thing for a thumbnail. You can open the door and you can tighten the screw. if the leg is too tight or too loose. I really love that feature. I really love that. So you've already seen, he does have a thigh swivel as well, which is a little tricky to get to, because that connects right there. So you do have a thigh swivel. You have this mechanism right there for really tight knee bend. Look at that. That pretty much goes all the way. You can't really complain much about that. So it's a really nice mechanism. Works really well. It's like a real grade mechanism before its time, and I love it. And then the ankles are kind of disappointing, I'm not going to lie. So you have the guard that's on kind of like this hinge system. So you have the guard, and then this guy's actually really heavy. And then you kind of have this ankle pivot, and you have a little bit of down and a little bit of up. It's just these guards right here are really in the way, right there. And then the toe, you can move it down. Actually, there's a couple joints you can work with right there. So you can mostly move it down. And there is a piston right in there. There's also these really nice pistons at the ankles you can never really see. There's no way to really see those pistons in the ankles, but they're there, and they're probably some of the coolest pistons. And then you can move it up just a little bit. See, our articulation's really good. And it always looks like there's a giant hole if you don't have that perfectly straight. But thankfully, the skirt usually always covers that up. So that's the articulation. That's the general look. One last thing I want to do is get him holding some accessories and then show off the light just a little bit more. So let's get out. I know oh my. So yeah, that does come off pretty easy. It's your personal choice if you want to glue it in or not. Me personally, I chose not to because, oh my gosh, no, stop falling. I chose not to because I would rather it pop off instead of one of the V-fins break. So me personally, I did not glue that in. It usually stays in well, but it's easy to knock out because it's such a big thing. So yeah, you do have the beam sabers, or the beam swords, if you're one of those people. Get in the hand there. Oh my gosh. Get tabbed in. You can see it's tabbed in. Then you wrap these fingers around and these... Oh my gosh. Thanks for proving my point, not. So then you really need to wrap the fingers around. And then there we go. I don't know why this guy has tabs in the hands, but the Master Grade doesn't. The Master Grade came out later than this. Why couldn't the Master Grade have tabs in the hands? The Master Grade cannot hold the Buster Rifles. This guy, however, can. Unfortunately, though, let's talk about this a little bit. You can have him holding, I'm just going to tell you, you can have him with the Buster Rifles in front of him like that, and he can hold them up. I'm just letting you know he can do that, but I'm not going to do that here. Because, I mean, it's just a review. I'm telling you what you can and cannot do. I'm not here to show you everything. You can go on delong.net to see everything, because Delong's the freaking best place for Gundam stuff ever. It's basically Rebel Scum for Gundam. It's basically Sabertron.com for Gundam. Check out freaking delong.net. I mean, the link's going to be in the description. I mean, I always like usually linking that. So then you can get that tabbed in. And the tabs for the Buster Rifles work so much better than that. So you can see he's holding it, but his lower elbow joint, no matter how much you tighten the screw, will not hold it up on its own. But here, the upper joint, if you tighten that, will hold it up. So you can at least get a 90-degree bend with him holding the Buster Rifle. However, if you work with both joints in tandem, and you're careful about it, you can have him fully holding the Buster Rifle up. So it needs a little bit of finessing, needs a little bit of trick, but the most, or like the very least you can have him with the Buster Rifle is like a 90-degree angle. That's unfortunate. I completely unassembled the armor just to see if I could tighten that lower screw, and I can't tighten it any more than it already is. Really sucks. But hey, at least the upper arm is strong enough to hold up the Buster Rifle. He's not going to have any issues really doing that. So hey, that's good. And I mean, you can work with that. It's not a loose joint. It just can't hold up the weight of this long, giant rifle. So that's pretty much it. I just want to show off the switch one more time. So you do have the switch on the back. God, this guy's just so big. It's hard to just turn him around. So you do have the switch on the back, and you flip the switch. And when I was doing the electronics and the wiring, here, let me turn some of these lights off to finish the video. When I was doing it, I didn't really have any issue with the wiring. What I had an issue with was lining up the batteries. Like you can see, he's pretty bright. He's actually pretty bright. The hardest part was lining up the batteries to get them to actually light up. So I had to actually kind of do some finessing with the metal and the batteries inside, and I finally got it. It works well, but just be warned, it may kind of want to knock out of place. It may not really want to work. Just keep trying. Oh, his chest is dimming. That's not good. Just keep trying, and hopefully it will work. Why did his chest dim? That's awful. Thanks for freaking ruining my day on my freaking review. So yeah, hopefully, maybe the batteries are dying. They're actually really old batteries. I took them out of a Shrek. Took them out of a Shrek toy. Anyways, there we go. There is my Wing Zero custom perfect grade review. This guy's awesome. I definitely recommend it. It's not perfect. Ha, funny. It does have a few issues and some personal preference choices. And it's definitely not an easy kit to build. This took me probably 15 hours. And that includes some breaks and everything. But over 3 days, 15 hours, this guy took a lot of time. So yeah, there we go. There is my review of the perfect grade Wing Zero custom. I love this guy, and I hope you loved my review of him. If there's any other information you want to know about the kit, let me know in the description below, and I will help the best I can. However, that's pretty much it. Have a good day, guys. I will see you in the next video. And don't forget to check out Bai in the description below. Save 1,000 yen on your first order. See you guys. Bye.